Hi, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, yesterday we had a busy day. We were at the hospital most of the day, or in and around, waiting. We did a lot of waiting because we messed up on the amount of time that we were supposed to, or I was supposed to fast. The idea being you fast overnight, you don't experience any discomfort then, not even water. And then you arrive at the hospital early morning, do the test, and you're done. So the requirement, according to the doctor, was that it was supposed to be 8 hours. This is for a blood test. So you fast for 8 hours and then you go in and you have the test. Well, I didn't have anything to eat from about 9 o'clock, and then by the time we got there, we were into 12 hours fasting, and the lady that schedules you for the test said that we'd over fasted. So that was the end of that idea. So what our next option was to quickly have something to eat straight away, and then be able to go back later. So by this time it was already about 12 o'clock. We were able to get in around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and get the test done and get home. Now, meantime, what did we do? Well, we had Taleklik and Bibi and our little new guy, who is the son of Jessica, and that is RJ. RJ is just a wonderful kid, just so full of life and fun, and he's somewhere around the 5 to 6 years old. So everything, so many things are completely new to him, and he's just amazed. Well, we decided we'd go and see a movie, so we went into a movie. Now, unlike a lot of the theatres that are in, say, America or in the UK, this theatre has kept the one theatre that we saw. I don't know about the others. It had 4 theatres, and the one that the movie was showing in that we went to see was huge, like an enormous place. Now the thing is, we take that for granted. We say, well, yes, it's a theatre, but none of the 3 kids had ever been in a theatre. Now, we think that the experience is seeing the movie. Well, yes, that's true, that the experience, part of the experience is seeing the movie, but the other part of the experience, which we don't allow for, is just going inside a theatre. For one thing, the lights go out. Now, when Beth said that said to Nana, I should take you to see a movie, Nana says, oh, well, what's it like and everything? Well, one thing you have to be prepared for is it's dark. And Nana said, well, why on earth would they want to put all the lights out? You can't see anything. See, it's a million miles away from the reality that Westerners take for granted. Nothing can be taken for granted. New experiences are new in a totally unexpected way. Well, we went into this theatre, and it was the big one. Now that means that the ceiling is incredibly high. Now, we're talking about a kid that's not even 3 feet tall. We're talking about RJ, of course. Well, I say RJ because he was the closest one to me, and I heard what his reaction was. I watched his reaction, and the screen, it just seems like 100 yards long, and it's bigger than any building he's seen, is almost the case. So he's looking up at the screen. Now, the screen was blank for a while because we were just sitting there waiting for things to start, and then suddenly the program started. Well, the music is a complete overwhelm for anybody who's never ever been to see a movie in a theatre, because it's all it just surrounds you. Well, didn't they used to call it surround sound? It's just everywhere. The music is everywhere. You are inside the music. And the music started, and then the screen lit up, and this little boy looked up like this and said, "Wow." You just can't buy the kind of feeling that gives you when you see a kid experience something that he thinks is absolutely amazing. I mean, it just said, "Wow," like that. And the other two were just stunned. I mean, they're just looking like that. Now, the other thing was that when the lights went out, Bibi actually screamed. Said, "What?" We had to say, "Shh." Well, it didn't really matter, because I think that we were there afternoon, an afternoon matinee, and as far as I could see, there was only one other person in the entire theatre. Now you have to imagine what this is like for that little boy. He's swallowed up in the armchair theatre seat, and it's an armchair sitting back and it's folding. He just thought that the whole thing was amazing, and he sat there like this, with his arms on the with his hands on the arms, and he looked up at the screen like this, and he literally had to look like that. That's when he said, "Wow." So wonderful to watch. And then after that, we took all of the three of them, and we walked around the mall, which is also an amazing thing as well, because one of the things that we take for granted, which you can't take for granted in the Philippines, is light. They don't indulge in an average house. They do not indulge in light because it's expensive, and what they have is one light up in the center of the ceiling. It's just one light, and for me it's just not enough, and they can't understand why I would have 3 lights. But why does he want 3 lights? You've got to understand what a strange person I must seem in a lot of cases to them. Why does he want 3 lights? Well, I like light. So, all round a great experience. And we went, after that, we went back to the hospital, and we put the application in. We went to the window where they would schedule in, and they scheduled me in, and we went to the room that said cardiac room, and well, there's no window. It's not, you don't know, so the only way you can do it is to walk in. Well, I walked in, and somebody else was having a test. The room was like as big as a small bedroom, and it had 2 beds in it, and a tiny desk, and a computer, and so on, and there's a doctor doing a test of some kind, and there I am, clumsy foreigner, standing in the doorway, and a lady said to me, in a while. So later, so I assumed that I was supposed to close the door and leave, which I did. Later, of course, we sat and waited, and then they called my name. They did another blood. Let me see, what did they do? Oh, they came out and they got me. So when I went in, the room was empty except for these 2 ladies who are going to do the test. So I was having what they call a let me see, an echo test on the heart. So they put some electrodes onto your chest, and then they do, if anybody is out there had a baby or seen what they do with ultrasound, they then rub some KY on you, and then they go to the various places on the heart to get their readings. So I said to the woman, joking, I looked on my watch, but it doesn't have in a while. I made a mistake, and I said it doesn't have in a moment on my watch. There's no 10 minutes to in a moment on my watch. And she looked at the other woman in complete mystery and said, what? I said, well, you told me in a moment, but I looked on my watch and it doesn't have any, there's no such thing as in a moment on my watch. And then finally they both burst out laughing when they got the joke, and she said, actually, I said in a while. I said, well, that's not on my watch either. So then I did the test, fairly nodding off because it took so long, and then we were out of it. So that was the end of the day, almost for us. On the way home, we had already reached that point outside of the city, and were on a point of no return when we realised that we were on a quarter full of gas, that's all. Well, we spent some very tense miles then, driving on these hills, up and down, using gas excessively, of course, because you're changing down and higher revs, more gas. But we did finally go into Tagbilaran, and we found a gas station open. So all ended well, and we got home, but it was around midnight. So, oh, there's a song called that, Around Midnight. I won't sing it to you. You never did me any harm. Right. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Thanks for looking in. My wife is nowhere to be seen, so there's no haunted voice that comes in from above or below or to the side, because she doesn't do her like, comment and subscribe. Thanks a lot for looking in. Bye for now.